Hey, this is Anthony with RevZilla TV. You can watch, decide, and ride. Welcome to our detailed breakdown of the new Icon Raiden DKR Boots, available at RevZilla.com. To date, this is the most technical boot we've ever seen Icon do. Bravo, Icon, you've raised your own bar. Coming in around the $300 mark, it's part of the Raiden DKR series, and DKR is an abbreviation for Dakar. They're really going aggressive adventure, and just like Icon typically does, you're gonna get function and you get a lot of form. They put a lot of thought in the style of these products, really thinking about the smaller bike crowd, aggressive, and again, these tend to be more of the bomb-proof advances that we've seen from them. Raiden DKR jacket, Raiden DKR pants, now we have the Raiden DKR boots, all collectively being launched at the same time. Now we look at it, it's going to be a 3 to 4 season boot built for bomb-proofedness, waterproof, full-grain leather, a lot of adjustability, replaceable buckles, standing on your pegs all day long. And we're gonna walk through all of the nuance. If I had to call it a quick nitpick, that isn't really a nitpick as much as it is going to be a deciding factor for a lot of folks. It is going to be mid-height. They didn't go full height. A lot of guys that would wear this would wear it with knee braces. Again, there are trade-offs there, but really they made that choice. They stayed in that similar height range that they found worked really well from the Rain boot, which again was their more sport touring commuter boot. Now they've gone old granddad here and really beefed it up for taking it for more off-road and adventure-oriented type riding. Now, quick note on sizing if we think about it. And before we get there, remember this is the black version. There's also going to be a red, white, and blue glory version. Sizing we found ran true to form with their American forms. So again, if you're 9.5, buy your 9.5. It's going to be American cut, not overly narrow, not really a lot you have to think about there other than Icon's an American company. They'll know the American foot, and you shouldn't be surprised. Now, there is adjustability across the inseam, or across the instep, across the top here. Again, you have different circumferential points that you will be able to tune in, but remember, the basic footbed's how you're gonna size this bad boy up. As always, we're gonna ship for free over 39 bucks if you're concerned about the sizing, so we make it pretty easy, and click right there, our logo in the frame. Subscribe to us at RevZilla TV on our YouTube channel. I am not asking, I am telling. Stay up to date with all of our latest gear reviews, and make sure you watch the full line of breakdowns for the rest of the Raiden DKR line. Now, when we think about this boot at a nuanced level, remember, Raiden, Thunder, and Lightning, that's your high pour lining, waterproof, breathable, not going to be as great as Gore-Tex, but again, you're only spending around the $300 mark, but you do get a fully waterproof, breathable boot. If we look at it using full grain leather, and you're going to see in different areas they coated it with nylon for a little bit of style, for a little bit of additional abrasion resistance. Actually coating it there again is going to increase the durability, especially on the outside of the boot. And if we look at it too from a side profile standpoint, you're going to see molded sole, big TPRs that are raised on the lateral side, working your way all the way back into these TPUs, which is that polyurethane that are raised. They protect the buckle. If you happen to go down on the outside of your boot, think about a low side, you tuck the front end, you're going to do a great job of not clipping that buckle or shearing it off. Again, the ground's going to slide over it. Working your way back, you're going to see a really beefy TPU around the ankle cockpit. Really, really nicely done, very heavy duty. The toe is reinforced, great reinforcement and protection from that side of things. And if we work our way up, you're also going to note these big raised hinges. You're going to see it on the outside, on the lateral side. Again, adding a hinged point at the ankle. You also see it on the inside. There's your medial protection right there. Nice, big, and thermoformed around the heel as well. So again, great heel cockpit, great ankle protection, great toe protection, and you'll even notice that these dually stitched panels have that reset stitching, which means it's giving you that shot to where you're really beating on these boots over time, and this stuff's gonna hold up. It's not gonna fray on you. It's not gonna be an exposed stitch that's gonna get ripped out. Again, they give you that better chance to stay intact and ride a little stronger, ride a little longer. Now, if we look at the buckles, aluminum buckles, they are fully adjustable. You have it at your instep here. You can see how that adjustment happens. It's kind of a set it and forget it. Find that fine tuning, and then you're just able to lock it down. Notice that they gave you those the bellows along the instep here so that it moves with you, and then you're gonna have another buckle at the top of the calf. So you have the main adjustment here across the top. Notice how I broke that open very quickly, very easily. Done with a gloved hand. Now, some of you might look at that and say, wait, that buckle's facing the wrong way. It might get caught on things. Remember, the Raiden DKR pant is meant to come down over the boot, so it's going to shield that buckle. It's not going to be in harm's way. Now, if we look at the Shin Protection here, big, beefy TPU Icon logo on the front, but what I like even better than the fact that they've done this, which is par for the course on an adventure boot, is when I open it up and I flip it down, you're going to notice, oh, what is that? A little bit of orange poking through. That's right, they've baked in D3O. So you have molecular D3O armor on the soft side of the shin, on the inside to interface with your bone, in your tibia, and that's going to be more comfortable, give you that shock absorption, show big impact protection from the TPU area, shock absorption and energy dissipation through your D3O layer. Again, Icon spends more and more time baking D3O foundationally into their products. We're a fan of D3O. We think those guys are doing a good job. Now, the thing I wish I would have got to a little earlier in this video when I flip it around here is the rear entry and exit. This is actually a nice touch. There are a lot of folks out there, myself included, that really like rear entry exit boots. We've seen a couple Icon boots go this route. In my opinion, on the sport adventure or sport touring side, we've always had that Dainese Torque Tour Gore-Tex or TRQ Tour Gore-Tex, which does a really nice job. We see it here from Icon. Notice that it goes down. You're going to have that gusset. There's your waterproofing. It comes up this high in the back. Again, easy entry and exit. And you're going to see two different materials on the inside of this boot. Your mesh, that's going to wick sweat, get it evaporated out, and then you have your waterproof liner, which is done in silver, which again is going to wick sweat as well and be really comfortable against your foot. The foot ped in this boot is relatively flat. It's kind of neutral. I don't think it's overly low. I don't think it's overly high. But what they have done is they've designed it so that you could use a D3O footbed or sole insert that we sell at RevZilla.com. And if you want to beef up the comfort and the protection and shock absorption around your sole, you can go that way as well. And that's already predisposed to be able to integrate nicely with that. The other thing before I flip it over and work into the sole, notice the toes on both of these. I like that it's asymmetrical. Left side's got your shift integration here. Right side has nothing because you're not shifting with your right foot. And I find things that tend to be more asymmetrical, in my opinion, from a style standpoint, tend to be more interesting. If we flip it up like this, you're going to see it's a flatter sole. It's got a little bit more of that off-road bent to it. Notice that the durometer might stay the same, but the type of pattern is going to change depending on where it's integrating with your bike. Front and back for walking, right along the instep for where you're hitting your foot pegs, and it's an axiometric steel shank. This is one of the stiffest boots that we've ever seen from Icon. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 on the stiff scale. This is really an off-road style thickness, or stiffness rather, and remember, that's going to be baked in so that you can stand on the pegs all day long. Have the boots do the work, not your feet, not introduce any undue fatigue. If we look at the front, nice big toe counter that comes up here along the front. And like I said, I've ranted and raved about it. I really like the way they did this heel. Now, the last thing I didn't really talk about is going to be this textile. That's going to be Cordura pulling everything together. So they're, again, using high quality abrasion resistant materials that really tie it in for that final slog. Again, they're calling it the Raiden DKR. They're calling out, that's the Dakar orientation for this bike. Big adventure, I think, is the thought process from Icon. I call it aggressive adventure with an eye on style. They typically do that well. The boys in Portland get my vote on this one. I think it's going to do really well around the $300 mark, especially in a category where we see a lot of Euro, but not a lot of American, and we see a lot of full height, but not enough mid-height options. The next step in your journey is to click right here, read other rider reviews of the new Icon Raiden DKR Boots at RevZilla.com, and remember, check out the pant and jacket that match up with it as well. True 4-season adventure. As always, we'll ship for free over $39. If you want to talk to a gear geek, see us at RevZilla.com or 877-792-9455. Thanks for watching our detailed breakdown. Remember, subscribe to us on YouTube. I don't do this for my health. I'm Anthony. We'll see you next time.